Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo 2014. That's cool, you can cheer as well, we like that. Welcome back to StarCraft 2, our fifth and final day here at the Campus Party 2014 for what proved to be an amazing day of StarCraft already and is only going to get better from here on in. We have just 2 matches remaining, the Grand Final and our last semi-final. Let's take a look at the bracket so far and show you who's advanced through. We've already seen MC reach his 3rd Intel Extreme Masters final. He is a previous winner, of course, back in 2012, and he may well end up playing a player who already has an Intel Extreme Masters to his name as well. In the lower half of the bracket, you can see TLO and herO are the last men standing between him and a first victory in almost 2 years. Time to introduce you now to our 2 players for our last semi-final. Our first player is the reigning Intel Extreme Masters Singapore champion. He came out of the Pro League, where he usually plays the ace matches for his team, CJ Enters. From Korea, he is herO. And the man standing in his way from reaching a 2nd consecutive Intel Extreme Masters final has battled his way to the best position he has had at the Intel Extreme Masters in history. He is the German Zerg from Team Liquid, TLO! Map vetoes are just moments away, so let's go over to our commentary teams in Portuguese and English.
Thanks very much, Paul. Welcome to the caster's desk for the final round of 4 battle to determine who joins MC in the grand final. This is big. herO versus Liquid TLO.
This is StarCraft.
This is StarCraft. This is going to be good. I am looking forward to this one. herO, all right, actually, let's just get these numbers out of the way as quickly as possible, because this is a big deal.
Let's do it.
herO, right now, in the last 22 maps he's played in PvZ, has lost 2 of them. To Donregu recently in Pro League, and to Hydra in Singapore. And across his entire PvZ record in Heart of the Swarm, he is currently, geez, they're really loud. He is currently 32 wins in series and 8 losses. 80% win ratio for herO. He just doesn't lose this matchup. It's insane.
Yeah, but we didn't get to see him yet in this tournament in Port of Zurich. So
right.
Maybe somehow, if he hasn't been playing enough, if he hasn't been keeping up, if he's been focusing too much on Terran, he's going to have to be careful. Because if he plays a little bit less good than he usually does here against TLO, this is going to be bad for him. He doesn't want to be upset here. He wants to make sure he advances on to the World Championships in Katowice, and for that he has to not underestimate his opponent. TLO, on the other hand, I didn't think he was all that impressive on the first day that he played, but today, oh my God, versus Bomber, I did not expect he was going to be able to take it, and the way he did it too was very, very impressive, with just basically adapting to every single map and to his opponent a lot and surprising him, and I think he surprised a lot of people there. So TLO is definitely not somebody you can count out in this match here. Yeah,
got to agree. He overcame 1 big hurdle in Bomber, and now can he overcome the 2nd? Pole Night will be our first map, as TLO got rid of Yonsu and herO. I can't quite remember what it was, but it was probably Daedalus.
Yeah, or if there is a matchup in which I'm pretty sure that it's this one.
Yeah, so I'm just going to assume that was the case after not seeing it there for a second. And Polar Knight will end up, being our first. Habitation Station 2nd, and then Frost 3rd. Obviously 1 and 3 here, herO choices, and then Habitation Station was TLO's.
Okay, Heavy Rain's going to be taken next. Actually, no, I think it was the other way around, no?
You think?
Yeah, it kind of looked like that, but maybe.
Well, regardless, we do have now this order in front of us here as herO makes his way to his booth and looking happy to attend here. Actually, now that I think about it, herO, if he makes top 2, he's technically already qualified for Katowice. So that means when we have our open bracket at Katowice, there will be a 3rd potential spot for people going on through if he makes top 2.
Oh.
So.
Oh, don't you think somebody from here might get it?
No. I know the ruling of it, so it's from the open bracket there at Katowice.
And not only that, if herO makes it here, we're going to have our first 2 times Intel Extreme Masters champion.
Guaranteed.
Either MC or herO. And in herO's case, you've said this before, it will be 2 Intel Extreme Masters in a row. How do you top this off, man? And he would be a big favorite too, going into the World Finals later on.
It's like, well, unfortunately he's not qualified for Cologne. I think he was playing Pro League at the time. We had the Korean qualifiers. But regardless, guys, here is TLO. Here is our highest foreign finisher for quite a while, especially across this entire weekend of tournaments, as he's looking good, man. He overcame Bomber 3-2. What an accomplishment. But now he goes up against a PVZ master in this man, CJ herO.
A foreigner hasn't won a tournament in a very, very long time. And TLO here with his deep run, he's got a lot of people excited now. Can he keep up the excitement? Can he keep up with his opponent herO here? It's going to be really tough. herO has shown some good thing, Protoss versus Zerg before. But as I said, he hasn't played this matchup in this tournament so far. Whereas, actually, herO didn't play this tournament against Zerg in this tournament so far.
Exactly.
But TLO, he didn't have very impressive games versus MC either. He really struggled in those. It was quite one-sided, and it really looked like he had no answer. I actually asked him a little bit about it before the series, and he was just looking at it in a way, basically saying, I know I played pretty bad. I'm going to forget completely about those games, and I'm going to go into this series with a new mindset. He also wasn't studying his opponent much, which kind of surprised me. But he was telling me that it was stressing him a little bit too much when he studies his opponent a lot, because then he's trying too much to anticipate what they're doing. He told me his priority was to be relaxed for this match. So he has to keep his composure, and if he plays his very best, I definitely think he has a chance here.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned in that interview, did TLO, that he wasn't that nervous in the booth compared to how he previously is, didn't have too many jitters, so that could really help him out here. But it's funny, the round of 8, yes, it's a fantastic achievement to get past that, but now we're in the round of 4. There's a whole new level of pressure. This determines a lot here for TLO. You're in the final, big money, then you go into Katowice. Oh my God. So I'm glad he can't hear us at this point, because just piling all the pressure on him. You better advance, TLO. But this is really good for a start for 2014 for this man.
Look at TLO trying to relax here a little bit. TLO is definitely one of those guys who can also bring a lot of surprise in the matchup. We've seen him before do things, take gold bases on Habitation Station, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if he does something like take the gold base later on very quickly. We've seen him open with a lot of Zerglings into Banelings to make sure he's safe versus all-ins, and then getting very, very quick Baneling drop. Then again, this is very strong mostly versus all-ins, versus 2-base all-ins with lots of sentries. This counters very, very nicely. Whereas herO here, I don't really expect him to all-in on 2-base all that much. If he was to do one, I would say it was probably going to be some kind of big Blink Stalker all-in. On 2-base, after he gets some kind of advantage early on, maybe with a 4 gateway and +1. Now, herO, what I'm wondering the most about in this series is how many times he's going to be playing Stargate. He's shown he's very fond of it versus Terran, but not versus Zerg. Does he like it as well? Does he like to get some Phoenixes out? Does he like to get a quick Oracle? I guess we're going to have to wait a little bit and find out here in a moment. This is all of these questions, man. They're making me very curious right now as to what might happen in this matchup.
For me, this is the dream scenario, as we have in the top, well, the last remaining 3 players, herO, MC, TLO. Regardless of who advances from this round of 4 game, the final is sure to be fantastic with MC going up against one of these players. So now, guys, the countdown has begun for game number 1 on Polar Night between herO and TLO to find out who advances on to the final, who advances on to battle for that prize money, those WCS points, and also gains themselves a spot at Katowice. All right, getting into this. herO's, the list of players he's been able to take out recently have been phenomenal. All of the top Zerg Koreans, but now will he be able to defeat this man? Spawning up to the north, we have our blue Zerg. Representing Team Liquid, it is TLO. And down to the south, we have our red Protoss. Representing CJ Entus, it's herO.
herO going to be riding a probe down his ramp here, so we might have some Forge play, which these days is getting more, it's getting rarer and rarer.
Yes.
We see it less and less every single time. He's actually not going to scout behind this. So we could be seeing, I think, either a Nexus first and then a scout, or maybe a Forge followed by a scout, and possibly a cannon rush. Because I think TLO, he's been known to go very often for hatchery first. So what this will do, especially if herO wins, it will put doubt in TLO's head. TLO would have to wonder, is this coming again? Do I have to change my plan? And being able to throw your opponent off his game in the first map of a series is always a good thing to do. So we'll see how this develops. Does not look, oh yes, never mind, he sends a probe there.
There we go.
This is going to be a forge followed by a scout. Yeah, herO definitely looking to cannon rush here, I think. I know before I say that, and it has turned out not to be, but I'm still going to go for it.
Well, we'll see what Liquid TLO's up to. He goes for his spawning pool first, so not a huge opportunity to really go for that cannon rush as TLO now. He spots the probe as well, so he knows exactly the timing on his opponent's scout.
Yeah, this was not a super quick forge either, but definitely not a very late forge either. So I think this is just okay. He's just making sure that TLO does not go for hatch first. Now he's going to be able to look for a block at the expansion, and he just has to start his Nexus, and then he can get the cannon.
A little bit of harassment, going to probably bring a second drone down here just to make sure his initial drone does not die off. And that pylon block as well from herO, just delaying his opponent a little bit.
Very quick cannon here by herO, because he didn't get into the main. He didn't see the timing on that pool.
Yeah.
So he's not going to risk throwing down a Nexus and possibly having some links headed for his base. Interesting already what we're seeing.
And still continuing to block this off, despite having to cancel the pylon. He's going to shark around and maybe even throw down a second pylon, but and that would come at the cost of nothing really, because his Nexus is now started. Oh wait, he actually, TLO manages to get the second location down.
Yeah, and herO guessed that right. He pulled back here.
Yeah.
He had kind of started the fight. He couldn't win, so had to be careful with his probes. Never a good thing to do that, man.
We have the gateway started as well. Here, and everything's been spotted by TLO, so he knows exactly what he's going to be playing against early on. These fuelings should be able to shoo away the probe for now, and he should be able to get that third hatchery down eventually.
Oh, wow. And herO trying to go for the block for as long as possible. 4 minutes, third hatchery, and like the Queen's going to be transferred to the third base. I like the way both players have dealt with each other so far. Maybe I would give a slight lead in initiative for herO here for blocking for as long as he has, but definitely no huge advantage that could not be recovered from here by TLO. And we see quick gas behind this third hatchery, by the way.
Yeah. Now, in terms of this map, Todd, and in terms of how you like to play it out against a Protoss, if you were in herO's position right now, what are you looking to do against TLO, considering the base placements, the timing of your Nexus, etc.?
He knows he's safe because he saw the third hatchery, so I think we should be looking to... He should be looking to get a +1 for his gateway units, ground units, and possibly just a few extra gateways, and then we should be seeing a quick third, unless he... I feel like there is a very little chance he's going to go for a 2-base, but then again, that's always possible. He's definitely one of those players that can mix in a lot of different builds, especially in the best of 5. So we'll see what he chooses to do, whereas I would say Protoss in general on this map, it used to be a map where we felt taking a third was very, very hard and tricky, but now Protoss got a lot better at it. Force fields are good, map awareness is good, and we do see a very quick robo here being thrown down, plus a sentry. Could be going for some sort of immortal push here, or maybe if he adds extra gateways and he starts a Warp Prism, could be going for some pressure as well. But okay, +1's going to start. I was going to mention that.
Well, exactly. I mean, the thing is that TLO spots this instantly. As the robo went down, the Overlord started moving. So TLO is really keeping on top of things here. Double gas as well, and TLO, if he wanted to, with that Overlord behind the mineral line, could quite easily just scoot over to the left and see the second gas as well. So you know what he's going up against.
I think he knows. Nobody really takes a gas like this this early and takes a single one. So an Immortal's being made. Whoa, I really thought this was going to be a Warp Prism, especially because of the positioning on the robo. Like usually you want to have it around your ramp, maybe near your expansion, but not in your main like this, because those units they take some time to go wherever you want them to go. Look, TLO's already adapting, getting Burrow very, very early on, getting metabolic boosts, and he's droning up quite heavily right now. He's done a pretty good job of that. Almost at 50 drone right now. Bailing Nest, yes, I kind of called that. I knew this was one possibility. And you know what? We've seen TLO before completely crush this kind of push on 2 bases with Zergling, Bailing, and then Bailing drop later on. Now, he hasn't started a lair yet, so okay, maybe I shouldn't get so excited.
Well, I guess what he's trying to do is burrowed Banelings to connect with the sentries, right?
Possibly, yeah.
That's something that we've seen work for him in the past, and it's actually, it creates quite the firework display if he's able to make it work. And, well, TLO is going to push away this Zealot initially. There's no probe out on the map, unfortunately, for herO, so he's going to have to go straight across, but the creep spread from TLO is heading down the avenue where, ideally, herO would want to hit with this.
It's really going to help. And we have actually a very quick War Prism being made behind those two initial Immortals, but I feel like herO's execution of the build so far has not been great. He's adding a lot of gateways at once. He's only going to go up to 6 gateways in total. Okay, never make that. I was going to say 7, but this is actually a Twilight. So he might actually be thinking already about the transition, which will mean he will make more probes and possibly take a 3rd base. Then again, he could still do this on 2 bases, but this is going to get very tricky for him. He needs to scout what he's up against.
Does this go towards +2 blink afterwards?
Oh, yeah, possibly and +2, and then still either 2 bases or 3 bases. The thing is, he's about to identify what he's going to go up against, which is a lot of Zerglings and Banelings. Now, how does he react? There is a good reaction, there is a wrong one. I think wrong reaction would be to get in there right now and not wait for enough units. So right now he's starting blink, he's starting +2.
Is he going to take this Observer with his army though? Because there's already Banelings on that ramp. It's going in a different direction. It has to be with the army.
Yeah, and look at this. He's not getting any more probes right now. He's on 20 on his expansion, but he completely stopped probe production for now.
Oh, and he's going to take
that War Prism.
Well, yeah, the War Prism, it's already been spotted, and it looks like TLO should be able to deal with that, but there's a Zergling already blocking this 3rd base, so that's a bit annoying. He will clean that up and look to take a 3rd during this. Is this a fake for a +2 blink hole, or is he just going to actually continue with this?
Yeah, I think herO didn't know what he was going to go up against, and right now what I'm thinking is that he's just playing it either super safe, like he didn't know if he was going to face roaches or a lot of Zerglings, so he just did this super safe build with which you get a lot of units, you get +2, you get blink, and then you start a late 3rd base. Or he's still thinking about pushing, because look, he's not making probes right now.
Yeah.
And I know he's not super rich, but he should still be looking to add a lot more probes to...
2 extra gateways going... Well,
oh my god, this amount of Zerglings.
There's so many. These 4 Banelings on the right-hand side, really keeping an eye on those. He also has some over on this ramp as well, so very important indeed. The Zerglings?
Yes, be careful. Those could be caught by some good force fields. Actually, a lot of Zerglings dying right now. TLO very hesitant.
I think he wants to lower him.
This is a mistake. He needs to pull back.
His Observer is there, and he does see some burrow Banelings. That's very important. But meanwhile, Zerglings are going to hit the 3rd base. He distracts his opponent long enough. Will he be able to force the cancellation on this? I think he will be able to. Force field maybe. Force field somehow need to be able to save this. Will they go down in time? Oh, they're going to actually wrap around it. What a fantastic placement there by herO. Pushes the Zerglings away and saves the 3rd base.
This was a nice haul, but this Nexus still has 200 hit points, so we have to keep an eye on that here. As TLO might try for a run by the left-hand side, that's exactly what he's going to do. But herO's about to attack. He has a lot of force fields. It's all going to come down to the force fields here. Having time warp and the vision here, he has a great advantage, but it's going to be for TLO to prepare some kind of good plan. And he evacuates.
They got the 3rd base once again here. He evacuates his 3rd base in turn, and that's really important. He has to keep those drones alive. He can send them over to the opposite 3rd base. A lot of Lings and Banelings in production here, and he doesn't have any burrowed in between it. He also has pathogen glands for infestors. If he can get those out, that would be absolutely fantastic for him. But he sees more burrow Banelings. This Observer has been worth its weight in gold so far.
20 seconds to Ventral Sacks. TLO's trying to get in there, but the force fields are too good. And herO hasn't lost any units, I feel, since he started this push.
Yeah, he's lost very little. And the Centrifugal Hooks is just not available to him as the Zerglings try and wrap around. The Banelings, though, crash in from the side. A lot of them are bottled up during all of this. Great force fields will deny a lot of those Banelings from doing anything while the Zerglings try and come in from the back. But the Stalkers are holding their own. They're holding strong, and they blink forward onto the Infestors. He's going to take those down. herO with great execution in game number 1. GG. And herO goes 1 game up in the best of 5.
God, is this guy good? I was very skeptical about this attack because the timing was so short, and usually when I do this personally, I attack too late. There is Ventral Sacks finish, there is Infestors, and this is just not the same fight, you know? We almost not like the same league or not the same game. And now in this case, herO hit the perfect timing. He had to hit. With his first hallucinated Phoenix, he basically saw that there was a late layer by his opponent, and he knew that all that TLO could have when this timing was going to hit was Zerglings and Banelings. He knew there could be burrow, didn't care about it. He had force fields to surround his army with it. And in the end, the force fields were, I was going to say more than good enough, but they were very close to perfect.
Yeah, they were very good.
He blocked those Banelings perfectly at the natural. TLO, he made a good choice of evacuating his base, but he had somehow to find a way and buy more time if he wanted to be able to survive here and possibly win the game. Because this was an all-in, by the way. The 3rd base died, and then behind this, if this army gets crushed or if TLO holds, he's on 3 bases because he had retaken a hatchery on the right-hand side. And TLO overall, I would say he played pretty impressively. Like he threw down the macro hatchery in his main right on time, and I like the initiative that he wanted to go for, but herO was just way too good in this game.
I can't emphasize enough how important that observer was. If that hadn't have been there, imagine how much damage those burrowed banelings would have done on every single one of those ramps as he was walking towards him. So really, you know, good foresight there by herO, but in the end, it really felt like TLO was anticipating something a little bit different to what we were seeing from herO there. He saw that robo so early, he was like, right, 3 Immortal Century push, go. Okay, I'm ready for that. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
But time went on further and further, and herO in game number 1 really juked and jived and took that first map.
He clearly assembled the critical mass he needed to take on this army here, and I have to say, the read that he has on this timing is quite impressive. Personally, there is so few players that can recognize that they can do such an attack. Well, there's actually a lot of players that will try this attack, but not because they recognize the timing, just because they want to go for it.
It's like, oh wow, that looks cool, herO did it, let's try. Well, now this man is 1 game up here, and if he advances onto the grand finals, we are guaranteed our first ever 2-time Intel Extreme Masters champion. It could be herO, it could be MC, but TLO is not out of this yet. He is not out. He's still got such a tall order ahead of him. This guy just doesn't lose this matchup. It rarely happens. And now we begin the countdown for game number 2, Habitation Station.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby.
Hatchery first on the gold.
Oh.
Possibly. TLO tried to take the gold versus MC. He did not go that well, to say the least. We'll see what herO has planned here. And herO is a little bit of a mystery to me, by the way. I don't know how much he studies his opponents. It feels like he's super well-rounded and always ready for everything, but I'm not sure if he studies thoroughly his opponents and if he watches their VODs. So we'll see how he adapts to TLO here.
Alrighty then, let's get into game number 2 as we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, our foreign challenger, the last remaining here in the Intel Extreme Masters. It is TLO. And up to the top right, currently 1 game up in this best of 5. Only needs 2 more maps to advance onto the grand final. It's CJ herO. I'm loving this, Todd. I'm loving it. I don't care about the heat anymore. I love these games. This is StarCraft. It's awesome.
Oh, no overload was started at 9 here. Does TLO usually do overload and extractor trick? No, pull 10.
Uh-oh. Against Gateway?
I usually always notice this too late, so I'm pretty happy that this time I did not. And yeah, pull 10.
Wow.
Probably anticipating some kind of forge play by his opponent, because this is definitely worse to do this versus a gateway opener. It does look like we're going to have a gateway opener. This is very unfortunate here for TLO. Nothing's done yet.
No.
A lot could happen, but it's looking like... Wait, okay, yeah, you really did probe. I was starting to think I was going to call this wrong again. Double extractor trick here by TLO. And herO starts his gateway. He doesn't only go for gateway, he also walls off here.
Yes,
so
exactly.
He's going to be in a great position to hold this
Very old
and
school.
be ahead economically.
Very old school. It always reminds me of Wings of Liberty whenever I see this kind of play, but, you know, still has
2 guys though.
Whoa.
Which could mean no zealots.
Greedy.
Yeah. In which case, if TLO gets in there, starts killing on probes, I don't think he will go for the pylon, but possibly. He could be doing the job that he has to with those original 6 links. Now, does he go for 6, 8, 10? We'll find out in a second. 8, at least 8. He gets the queen quickly, and he's going to be supply blocked, so it's just going to be 8 for now.
All right, well, those 2 gases have finished. 2 in each of gas guys are here, and if he can throw his cybernetics core up and then a zealot, maybe, by the time these lings get across there, it's very difficult to really get out now. And TLO knows, he sees, and whoa, probe, where are you going?
He's going to be able to spot it, but I don't think he can wall on time.
Wait,
with a building plus have a unit.
I think he doesn't spot it.
Oh, wow.
The Zerglings are moving around.
Yeah, but TLO's losing so much time. What is he doing?
I think he's trying to get out of the vision of the watchtower.
Yeah, but he's going way too far. I don't think he knows exactly. Oh, he sends a drone to the gold. This is not going to be spotted.
What is going on?
I think herO, upon reaching the natural of his opponent, is going to know something's up. He's going to know that there is some kind of rush coming, or his opponent went hatch first on the gold.
Does he want him to, like, cancel the zealot? He cancels the zealot! He cancels the zealot! Because he wants to go for a nexus really quickly. Oh, dear me. Uh-oh. Well, not good.
Oh, hero's trying to wall his ramp, I think. He's sending a probe there.
No,
oh
he
my
wanted
God,
to go for the nexus.
That's so many Zerglings here.
Oh, Dimi, it is for pylon.
Because this many Zerglings, this is going to work here.
TLO's in a great spot. herO's not down and out just yet. He needs to power that up and get that Zealot down.
Yeah, actually, I thought he was going to do more. I think maybe he should have traded the links because look, right now herO, he's on 22 probes against 16 Zerglings, 16 drones. And TLO, even though he's taking the gold, I don't think he will need those Zerglings as much later. But then again, he knew he had this decision to make. He took it the way he did, and now we'll find out later on how important those Zerglings were. Because I guess if he loses them all, then he gets counter-attacked by some kind of Zealot plus Stalker, then he won't have much to defend. Whereas now, he's gonna have those links, and even though he knows his opponent is ahead on economy, herO right now is also very scared. He just got rushed. He knows his opponent probably has the gold, which is about to confirm with his probe, and he's gonna have to be very, very careful. He starts a Nexus when the hatchery on the gold finishes. I wouldn't be surprised if TLO transfers some drones there, and his economy, man, he's going to make a big boom.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to be a little bit careful about taking that Nexus at the natural with those links still around, being annoying, being pesky. But TLO from this point on, he's getting speed out here, and he's only got one guy left on gas. So I'm expecting to see, you know, the third hatchery, but he's making more links. He made a few more links there.
Yeah.
Was he anticipating maybe a Zealot coming over? He's still making links.
He wants to make sure he's not going to get pressured because he's up against a gateway expand. He knows that there was at least 1 or 2 units made out of the gateway, and there's going to be a mothership core as well. So he wants to make sure that if he gets attacked by some kind of 3 or 4 gateway pressure, he holds it. Oh,
he's having on way more links.
He's going to cancel.
Yeah, he's going to force the cancellation on this, and even if he didn't with those ones, he's got so many more on the way. Whoa, he's leaving. Does he want to kill it outright?
He had 2 more on the way, but with speed being made here. Oh, actually, there's a proxy pylon going down near his base. TLO's gonna have to focus on defending this. Some of these Zerglings are out of position, like some of them are in the gold right now. He misrallied this completely. He could have gone to the cancel here, I really do think so.
He's got so many, 15 lings now out on the field. He's
some ninjas trying to sneak in the natural of herO here.
Where are they? Okay.
There's 3 sentries though, this is not gonna work.
Yeah, a little bit too much control there for herO to make this happen. But he's got 16 more lings in production. TLO's gonna go for this, but if the force fields land properly, well, I mean, he has to deal with the pylons first, right? To make sure that he's not going to take any damage himself.
These players right now, they're really trying to outthink each other. And, in this case, TLO, he thought that there was a Stargate, so he made a spore in each base. And there is a Stargate, but it's super late one. So this is not going to do anything for now, but later on, it's definitely going to help him to have those nice force fields go down. And I expect herO to wall off his ramp here and be completely fine.
Really nice force field placement there. Just very pristine, very, very neat. 31 workers right now to 24.
Yeah, this is really good for herO here. He's forced so many Zerglings out of his opponent, and those didn't do enough damage to basically be worth it. At least in the later part of the game, after the initial rush.
TLO, he running around doing nothing.
I really thought he was going to go for his natural, and then later on go for more gas plus a lair, but he starts lair and the second gas before that.
Void Ray production now begins to hold on. I guess he feels really pressured. He's like, hey, you've got that many lings on the field. I don't really think I want to go to Phoenix straight away.
And also,
or
remember MC
Yeah.
versus TLO, those Void Rays that definitely help a lot against Roaches. So herO wants to play it safe here. He's going to make sure he doesn't die to some kind of goal-based abuse with a ton of Roaches and Zerglings.
This is a really interesting wall that herO has.
Look at how many lavas there is on the goal base.
That's quite a bit.
Some overlords are about to finish. Let's see what TLO goes for. I expect drones, but...
Yeah, just droning up, droning up. He doesn't have a third hatchery still yet, and he's going for Infestation Pit off of these two bases.
Yeah.
So
and herO's going for an all-in. It's going to be very difficult for TLO to hold. You see no gases on his natural here for herO. He's thrown down a lot of gateways.
Uh-oh, and he's walled himself in as well, so here it comes. He's only got one probe out on the map with his army that's going to throw down a pylon right next to that gold base, but the Zerglings realize the movement out has occurred.
They might try to go for a surround. No, they try for the counter-attack here.
Okay, if they go for the surround, then the force field's going to have to be good, but he's put himself in a position that's quite easily defendable.
He needs to go behind the watchtower.
Yeah. And the Void Ray is going to help out as well. He also needs to make sure that he saves that probe as well as the pylon. Very, very important.
Oh, these overlords, they were dropping creep for a creep highway here between the main and third and, well, natural.
Wait a minute. He's going for swarm hosts. I don't think he can get these out in time. This is going to be difficult.
He needs to buy time. He's getting a bunch of spine. He has a spore as well. If he's able to hold for some time, I think TLO's going to be in a great position because this is a pure all-in.
If he gets up that ramp, though, with this army and force field locations off, then what do these Zerglings do? They do nothing.
Yeah, but there's spines and queens, but I think this might be what he's going to go for. TLO needs to come in from behind with his links. They're a little bit late.
Oh, a preemptive time warp there to slow the reinforcements down, and this is a lot of firepower that herO has. All he has to do is throw down 2 force fields on that ramp, and he's going to be completely sealed off in that gold base, which is the only second base that TLO has. He has no more bases behind us apart from his main. The Zerglings are actually doing quite a bit of damage here. There was no force field on that ramp, but he seals the drones in. You are not escaping as TLO tries desperately to get out, and this natural, there's 2 swarm hosts about to pop here as well, so even if they try and come along, they're not really going to be able to do a whole lot. They instantly get focused down.
Yeah, and again, this is a timing that hits perfectly just before the swarm hosts came out, and there was too many. GG gets called.
herO 2-0, showing... Oh dear me, he knows he's confident. He knows that this is his series to win. And after that game, jeez, oh boy, how can TLO bring this back? He's got such a mountain to climb. He already had a hurdle at the very beginning. There you go, man.
I like that sign.
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah.
Well, CJ enters his herO, certainly proves that Protoss does pretty well.
Yeah, and this was such a short timing he could hit, and it was interesting too, like the way he was staying up his ramp, making sure no links can go up there, and if they did, they would get force fielded. So TLO didn't even dare going up the ramp. The Void Ray cleared the overlords near his natural, and ultimately he didn't spot these extra gateways going down. And then from there, it's very, very hard to hold. Somehow, TLO smelled this coming, just because the way herO was playing it. He was trying to proxy pylons. When you see an opponent really trying to proxy some pylons, swapping some units across the map, usually he's in a pretty aggressive state of mind. So at this point, TLO was like, you know what? I don't need to take another base. I'm just gonna take 2 layer, get some swarm hosts, make sure I'm safe. On this map, swarm hosts are so strong. If you get in a position where you've defended for a few minutes, you get your drone count up, it's very, very, very hard to lose, because as a Protoss, it's very difficult to attack into. You cannot really do warpism drops if your opponent has some good defense ready. And in this case, this is, I think, what TLO was aiming for. He's one of those guys that almost never plays swarm host, but on Habitation Station, the invitation was too welcoming here for him to deny.
Exactly, it was too much of a temptation here.
Sadly for him, that timing, man.
It's too good.
Such a short timing too.
herO played on the fly and he just hit it perfectly. That was fantastic. And now map number 3 is Frost. This is the map where I feel TLO, no gimmicks, no craziness, straight to standard here from TLO. Otherwise, herO just reacts perfectly to everything that's thrown at him. How do you deal with that? Anyway.
You try and surprise him anyway with something new.
More surprises, let's go. All right, let's get into this. Game number 3. It's match point at the moment for our Protoss, but can our Zerg overcome it? Up to the top left-hand corner, representing Team Liquid, it is TLO. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss. Currently 2 games up. CJ enters his herO.
Oh, TLO's not starting a drone. I think we're gonna have a pull 9, and I'm glad I was paying attention, because I was gonna talk about this. I kept thinking about this while you were doing the introductions. I was like thinking, in the previous game, he tried for something. As I said, that he starts a drone very late, plus an overload. Maybe he couldn't make up his mind here, because he started those very late. Okay, I was gonna say, TLO in the previous game, he tried for something to try and counter a Forge Expand. Unluckily for him, he was against Gateway. It looked for some time like he was gonna be able to do a lot. In the end, all he got was a pylon, and then he was behind on walkers. Then herO from there, he kept on applying pressure and forcing units out of his opponent. And TLO was very far behind on economy the entire game. So now maybe TLO was considering it, he went back on his decision, and luckily for him, he didn't go for it, because again, herO's going to be opening with a gateway.
And I've got to ask Todd here, normally a Zerg would send their initial overlord south in these positions, but he sent his to the right-hand side. Is there any particular reason for this? Because is there anything that he's planning later on? Because normally you see that overlord always go vertically.
Not necessarily, I think it depends.
I see it a lot, man. Like, I'm going to cast a lot of StarCraft.
This is TLO, man. This is not just anybody.
True, it's just like, I'll do. I am TLO. You've got a good point with that. He never really conforms, let's be honest.
What better explanation than this unit? I am TLO. I am
TLO, yeah. All right. Okay, well, herO now completes his wall off, realizing that his opponent he's got a bit aggressive. I think I want to be a bit safer against that.
And no second guess this time, so I do think this is going to be a quick Nexus, possibly with the Zealot cancel. We'll see though. herO still boosting up probes. He starts the Zealot quite late after the call was started. This is a big tell. Like, this is almost always a cancel in this case, I think.
No, well, that's all right for him. Cross positions, as pointed out. Always really nice here for the guys to get into that macro swing of things and just keep going. But, you know, TLO opened very safely with that spawning pool first, and we will have that Zealot cancelled. Bye-bye.
Very quick Nexus here. 3 minutes 45. As TLO, he's definitely playing a lot more shy than on the European ladder, man. We do see him sometimes with those 3 hatcheries before pool, but now definitely opening safer, but still getting a very quick extractor to try and get speed and make sure he's safe against some mid-game attacks or even early game.
Well, yeah, extractor, as you mentioned, is there. And
he was very worried. You see what he did with his probe? He was in front of his natural.
Yeah, he's been chilling out there for a while. He didn't send down to scout. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He's just careful. I was like, oh, I didn't throw some buildings down. Oh.
And he's getting a stalker now. I think he's realizing he didn't get scouted first. So he might try to pick up the Overlord as it finally scouts him. And now he should be able to know that there is a good chance his opponent's cross map, but he's still going to check on the bottom left-hand side. That Mothership Core, if it spots the Overlord here, and that Stalker goes on the hunt, we could be seeing a supply block early on here for TLO.
And he did spot it just barely with the 14 vision that a Mothership Core does provide. So
herO wants to be safe though. He's not going to risk it for now. He keeps his Stalker in his wall.
It can be a little bit treacherous.
By the way, that was 4 gateways. Proxy pylons were going to be made in the middle of the map. This is going to be a very Zealot heavy pressure here. I'm surprised he went for Stalker first since he's going for this.
And the separation of the gateways is so, I want to say, San-esque. I mean, we cast him at the previous...
and that probe was seen, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah, it was seen by the Queen and the Creep here. So TLO now he should know that there's the possibility for this coming. Luckily for him, he's getting speed. It's going to take a while for him for that to complete. But look, he's getting 10 Zerglings. He's making sure he's safe in this game. He knows that with that timing, there is some danger. The 4 gateways, though, we've seen Sand pull off some magic.
Oh, yeah, we have.
This kind of build.
And, I mean, all of these pylons are just placed right on the edge of Watchtower vision. They weren't spotted until that Zergling ran down, but there's already a second one as well. How many lings does he have out? He has 14 lings to go up against 4 Zealots, but there's still more amassing. And the more Zealots that come out here, the less likely that those Zerglings are going to have to clean them up, because Zealots in clumped positions are so hard to deal with.
TLO needs the Queens as well, so he brings one. It's actually off Creep. herO's gonna jump on the opportunity. He sees that that Queen also had a lot of energy. This is a big win here.
Slowest
even though he had
Queen
to spend a time warp.
Yeah, slowest Queen ever. The speed is finished now. That's a lot of Zealots. That's a lot of Zealots that are there. If he kills off this pylon, it doesn't even matter anyway. There's another reinforcing pylon so close. They're actually going to focus down this hatchery. They need to turn and go for the fight. Yes, they will do. That's not many Zerglings actually left alive here. He comes in with reinforcements, but there's still 10 Zealots alive. They're very, very weak, but they hold on strong.
Oh, they're not weak. They're ready to slice up some Zerglings. A lot of those are actually very low on hit points. And that hatchery is going to be picked up. Possibly, TLO's being chased away now. He didn't trade well enough with the first big fight. And herO, he really forced this attack from TLO onto him. That Queen, well, goodbye.
Oh, slice and dice. This is just easy peasy for these Zealots. They are proper sous chefs here as they kill off that 3rd base and just waddle on home. Why not? Yeah, just go back to my reinforcing pylon, continue the pressure onto the natural. He's making a Baneley nest. That's how pressured TLO feels right now. He doesn't want this at this point, but he has to.
I don't think herO cares right now. His level of confidence is through the roof. He knows he's very likely to go to Katowice, which he's going to be pretty happy about. And man, those Zealots are marching forward. 6 Zerglings in production, not really going to help all that much against this many Zealots. TLO, he's trying to get a spine crawler in his expansion here.
Oh, it's just too much. Those Zealots, it doesn't even matter. The Zerglings are completely out of position. The Zealots are going to wrap around this hatchery once again. And even if they didn't turn around and target, but they're going to get those Zerglings as well. He's supposed to cancel the spine crawler during all of this for some reason.
This is an unstoppable force here.
Too much. Way too much.
If you don't go for a Rotron, this is going to be almost impossible to hold this against a player of this caliber.
And there you go, the hatchery ends up falling. herO shows why he is an absolute master of this matchup, a true virtuoso. And now herO just, there's nothing left for TLO. He has 1 hatchery, a second one down to the south. He's going to try and recover, but how do you from this position?
Look at those guys, man. They take on an entire army by themselves, and the Lings were scared for a second, man. This is Sparta. Those Zealots did so much. They sniped bases. I really think that TLO here plays the same too often against somebody who adapts very, very well to from one run, a little bit too much in most of his games versus Portos. And he was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna punish you for that. He went for the double gateway in the wall and the hidden gateway in the main, which TLO never saw. And then from there, well, look at it, look at what he's doing.
Yep,
Wave number 2.
A
lot more gateways being made, +1 underway as well, bunch of sentries, and I don't think any amount of banelings is going to help here.
Yeah, I can't help but feel that all TLO has as an option is a lot of counterattacks. That's certainly another option though,
yeah,
Todd.
The burrow.
Yeah.
Could give him a chance here, but I don't think herO's going to want to look to give him enough time for that. I think herO's going to start moving out now. He's going to close the wall. Yes, that's exactly what he does.
God, look how many force fields he has.
And look at the timing again. If you look at the production tab, he always attacks before TLO has enough time to recover. He never gives him time to recover, ever. He always attacks right on time, and TLO cannot get enough units out to hold.
He somehow needs to have great baneling connections with burrow, but he needs those out first, which currently he doesn't have. Wait, did he cancel the baneling nest during all of this? He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
He actually doesn't have that even available to him. So it's all down to the roaches with burrow.
Yeah, or really going to help if it can complete on time, which it does look like it's going to be, but there is such a huge army here for herO, and he has a lot of force fields, so regardless, he can actually force field on top of the roaches, and then they can't unburrow.
Yeah.
That could really help as well. 10 sentries with that much energy, man. 44 army supply for herO, 42 for TLO, and herO's about to go for it. +1 completing, just at this timing.
Wow, 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 wow. Well, why not? herO here with a huge hallucinated army. TLO's like, wait a minute, that's probably not real.
Yeah.
But at the end, I mean, he has 13 roaches and 10 zerglings to be able to hold off this gigantic, in inverted commas, army as herO decides, I'm just going to show off for the crowd. I am going to put on a show, a spectacle here. Game number 3, as all those roaches have nothing to do against the stalkers, the sentries that lay below this massive, massive Colossus, in inverted commas, army. Well, the roaches on burrow once again. More zealots here, and TLO just assumes that, well, this is a bit strange. In the end, there you go, GG. Congratulations to herO, who advances onto the grand finals for a second time in a row in the Intel Extreme Masters. Now MC and herO are here to try and take that second IEM for themselves.
Oh, herO give you a kiss.
Oh.
What are you going to do about it?
I mean, I like herO, man. I called him handsome before, he called me handsome. It's bromance, it's bromance. What a performance, what a win. 3-0, we've seen a lot of them during this tournament, but herO really shows why he is an absolute king of the matchup. Goes over to...
And the story of this series, in my opinion, herO reading perfectly into TLO's plan. TLO tried to pull something off, but in the end, herO saw everything coming, he adapted well, and very impressive series here. I know herO was the favorite, and here he won, but the way he did it was just mind-blowing for me. I wish I could copy the things he does. It's so difficult for us Protoss players to scout correctly, to do those timings, and herO is an example for all of us out there.
How happy are you right now that it's a PvP final?
I'm happy for myself, but I don't want to be selfish and egoistical. I know some people might be disappointed, but I want to tell you something. These players, even if you don't play Protoss, you're gonna enjoy their play because they are great players and they always pull off amazing things. So.
Dude, PvP is far more interesting than people actually give it credit for. herO in the final versus San in Singapore. MC in the finals versus Duck in Season 2. Just great series, guys. But that does it for us here at the Caster's Desk. We are going to send it over to a lovely interview with Paul and our winner, herO.
Thank you very much, commentary team there in Portuguese and in English with herO now. Congratulations on another win in the semi-finals and your second consecutive Intel Extreme Masters final. Explain what that means to you.
기분 어떤지 지금 결승 2번 올라갔는지.
It's pretty hard, right?
지난번에 이어서 이번에도 결승 가게 됐는데 이번에는 오기 전에 감기도 걸리고 좀 대회 일정도 많아서 연습을 많이 못해서 걱정이 되게 많았는데 대회하면서 손이 좀 잘 풀린 것 같아가지고 이렇게 결승 올라온 것 같아요. 그리고 너무 좋습니다.
The applause there just for TLO leaving the booth.
First of all, he's happy that he made it to the finals again. And actually, before he came, he was like he was sick. He got so he wasn't sure if he can show a good performance. And after playing a few games, and he realized, okay, games are going smooth and it goes as expected. So he's really happy that he made it.
Okay, let's talk about the builds and the 3 games that you played. The first 2 maps you've played, the timing that you hit was so perfect in both games. How do you do that?
타이밍 정말 맞게 뚫렸잖아.
네.
타이밍하면서 그거 어떻게 했는지 생각해나는 거지.
타이밍 잡은 거는 일단 제가 환상 불사조로 계속 서치했는데 상대분이 좀 배를 불리는 것 같더라고요. 그리고 폴라나이트에서 제가 좀 올인 빌드인 척하고 이제 좀 테크 위주로 플레이했는데 상대분이 그거에 많이 속아 주셔가지고 그래서 쉽게 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
So on Polar Night, on that map, he actually kind of faked an all-in, and he thinks TLO fought for it. So that's why, and he faked it all-in, but he went for a tech build, and so that's why actually TLO he caught him kind of off guard. That's why.
Okay, let's talk about the final just for a moment, okay, before I let you go. You are in the 2nd consecutive Intel Extreme Masters final. It's never been done before. We've never had a winner who has won 2 Intel Extreme Masters, but now you and MC both have the opportunity to do that. Are you aware of it, and what do you think about it?
두 번 지금 너가 싱가포르 우승했잖아.
네.
이번에 또 결승 와서 민철이 옛날에 우승하고 지금 너나 민철이 이번에 2번 우승할 수 있어. 그거 어떻게 생각하는지.
그건 몰랐네요. 근데 장민철 선수나 저나 2회 우승할 수 있는데 2회 우승하는 사람은 아마 제가 되지 않을까 싶습니다.
So first of all, he didn't know about that there was never a two-time champion, and it's good to know. And he thinks that he will be he might be the one who wins twice.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, CJ enters herO is our 2nd finalist, and he goes head-to-head with MC for the historic chance to become the first ever 2-time Intel Extreme Masters winner. We'll find that out very shortly, but before then, we're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll be presenting the MVP for StarCraft 2. Don't go too far away. The Sick Nerd Baller is next.
You know how I do.
Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo 2014. We are just one game away now from finding out who the champion will be of Brazil in 2014. But before we get to our final, we have around about 20 minutes to go, and we have one final presentation to make before the final. You guys have been voting in your thousands online, so we thank you for visiting facebook.com/IEM and voting for your sick nerd baller, aka the MVP for StarCraft 2. We do have a winner. That winner will receive nearly dropped it. Those sharp reactions saved me that time. We do have the Intel Core i7 3970X, the extreme version of the top-of-the-range processor. This one's worth well over $1,000, and the winner of the MVP will get this, plus a HyperX bundle, which unfortunately didn't manage to make it through customs, so we'll ship that one to the winner anyway. And on top of that, the Nerd Baller will also receive some special shoes, some special Converse shoes with their name and team on. Liquid herO, for instance, already has a set of them. So it's time to announce the winner. He has played an incredible tournament. Some might say a sick tournament. That's why we call it the Sick Nerd Baller Award. He has come through the brackets against the odds. He made it through against a top player in the form of the Korean Bomber. He is Liquid TLO! I just want to grab a word with you before, Dario. I feel terribly sorry for you. You've crashed out like that 3-0. Obviously a massively tough game against a very, very competitive Korean, but you must be really proud about the fact that you've got so far.
Yeah, it's a little bit sad it had to end in such an unglamorous way, you know, but herO is incredibly good. I was a little bit unlucky when it comes to the build orders, but, you know, it's well-deserved by him, and I wish him good luck in the finals. Okay, one word for the crowd here. They've been very supportive of you. They've loved you this weekend, and obviously a great start to 2014. Absolutely. I had a total blast in Brazil. You guys are awesome. You've been cheering so hard for me. I've never experienced anything like that. And one final word for the people that voted for you online. Thank you guys so much. Streaming and stuff like that. So I'm going to pay you back by a lot of streaming in February. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the sick nerd baller for Sao Paulo is TLO. We're going to take a very short break, but before we get to that break, let's check in with the man himself. I caught up with him yesterday. Okay, here with my friendly Zerg, of course, the friendly neighborhood Zerg at the IEM. It is, of course, the one and only Dario, or as you better know him, the little one, or TLO. Thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule and playing and what have you. I say busy, but it hasn't been quite that busy here, so we'll come to that in a moment. But let's talk a little bit about 2013 before we move on to this year. You had, I would say, a solid year last year, reasonable year, some round of eights, some semi-finals, but something not quite clicking to get you all the way. How would you summarize last year? I think I had a really strong start in 2013, definitely with WCS Season 1 and qualifying for the regional finals in Korea and stuff. But at some point I kind of plateaued. I wasn't feeling very happy with myself, and I feel like I have to make a few changes in my life still to really break through that wall that I eventually hit. I would give myself, I would give myself a C+. Basically, I said that in a Team Liquid Pro interview. Nothing to be ashamed of, but nothing to be too proud of, and nothing that, I'm still hungry for definitely a lot more results this year. You made some very personal changes last year. Talk to me about those.
Oh, isn't it getting boring? People are
No, not boring.
having a fit lifestyle and doing meditation and eating healthy. But
Okay, but tell me what sort of difference it made to you.
it actually made quite a big difference. First of all, I'm a much happier person. I think I'm in a spot in my life where I'm actually, I'm not being depressed as much as I used to be. I don't fall in like a deep pit as many times as I have in the past, and that's definitely a foundation that you need to actually be able to be good at your job. If you're constantly unsatisfied with yourself, it made traveling much easier. I'm much more relaxed, and I feel less stressed. But you got to be careful not to be too not stressed, because there are still a lot of things you need to accomplish.
Like you were in the booth the other day, where you were,
That was funny.
We caught you out a couple of times and things like that. It's always fun, right?
Maybe that's going to become my signature, the ceremony.
I like that. Laid back Dario.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so 2014, new year, new start, fresh, no kind of, bad feelings from last year. You've had a solid year. But 2014's got to deliver for you. You're hungry for a tournament victory, I know that. And it starts with Intel Extreme Masters here. We'll talk about that in a moment. But WCS this year is very important to you.
Definitely, WCS, no question about it. It's always going to be the most important tournament in StarCraft 2. And it's nice to have an IEM early on to gain some points. I have 250 WCS points secured. So that's at least a little bit. And everything, little victory helps to make it to BlizzCon. I was so close last time. And if I would have had one more good result last year, I would have made it in top 6 team. So I don't want to miss out on any points.
Okay. Intel Extreme Masters this weekend. It's very warm. Makes a big difference being a nice air-conditioned booth, I'm sure. But you've had, I would say, a very different approach this week. You took the first day you were here, it was very relaxed. Nice day off. You were kind of able to get into the mood of things. Then you had a day of playing. Today, another day of rest, potentially, because we don't know what the draw is yet. But how easy is that for you to cope with? Or are you the kind of guy that just wants to get on with it and play the games?
No, I think I'm becoming better. That I used to be like that I was just kind of forcing myself into a sea and laddering. But if you look at most of the Koreans, they don't do that. And, they're pretty good at StarCraft too. So you can mimic them in some regards. Because, honestly, warming up is good, but playing too much on a event day is not going to help you. It's not.
Apart from when Koreans are in Finland, obviously.
Yeah. Well, maybe they don't deal well with the cold climate. They're more comfortable. Maybe they're like processors. They're like running. Well, actually, no, that makes no sense.
No,
the other way around.
Okay. So, Intel Extreme Masters right now. You're in the quarterfinals. The top of the draw, though, looks a bit tasty. And you've already had a tough draw in your group, but it gets harder from here on. Is there anyone that you kind of look at and go, hey, I can take them? Or do you not even worry now?
I can take everybody on a good day. I can also lose to everybody on a more average day, because I am the underdog in the tournament still, obviously. There's really good Koreans still there. But if I need to play much better than yesterday to be able to make it to the round of 4. That's for sure.
You left your Twitter account unlocked.
Oh, shit. Jesus.
So Twitter account unlocked, and Carmack's carrying herO on his shoulder. So what sort of dastardly things do you think Carmack might have got through your Twitter?
Just as usual. At this point, I don't care anymore. I think people are used to that. And especially if you're at an IEM, if something unusual happens on your Twitter, it's usually #Carmack.
Yeah, it is #Carmack got off my Twitter. We seem to be trolled by some superstars already. Some Intel Extreme Masters quarter-final. Great result already, as you said. Nice points in the bag and a little bit of cash. But is semi-finals okay for Dario, or do you need a final?
No, semi-finals is definitely a good result here. But if I make it to the semi-finals, that's not going to be an acceptable stopping point. And top 2, top 2 would be pretty amazing to make it to IEM Katowice.
Yeah, so that was my next question. Is it like top 2 qualifies you for the IEM Katowice Grand Finals? We've released some information over the last few days about the fact that it's winner takes all. What's your honest take on that?
I am personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but if you look at the rest of the IEMs, you have the fairest price distribution out of any tournament, and I think people are kind of not seeing that. Because I'm top 8 here and I already have $1,000 secure. That's not usual for every single tournament. Even top 16 gets paid out here, I think. So it's okay, considering only the top 2 people go there anyway. It's not going to be like the grassroots players that go there anyway. And honestly, if you make second rank second place there, at least you're going to be the most tragic player of all time, and you're going to have a lot of sympathy. So you gain a little bit of popularity from that, I think. Yeah.
Do you think the players and the teams benefit from that kind of exposure that we're hoping that tournament gets as well? I mean, not monetary-wise, but just in general.
I mean, it's hard to tell, but I think if you make it to the top 4 there, it's going to be a pretty big deal, and it's definitely going to reflect into money eventually. It's hard to grasp the value of a tournament, of a ranking like that, other than prize money. But being out there and placing well in like a top tournament like that always helps you, even if it's not direct money.
What does success mean to you this year in the year of the horse? What does it look like?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna keep chasing that tournament championship victory, right? I mean, maybe I won't catch it, but I will never stop chasing it.
Okay, just some fun stuff now, because I know you and I have had a bit of banter about English humour. Is 40 Towers the greatest comedy of all time? Or is it Blackadder?
I mean, I kind of prefer still the classic Monty Python sketches over 40 Tower, but it's good. It's definitely good.
Have we really converted you to being full-blown English? I saw you moaning about the weather the other day.
I have watched every single episode of QI. I love Stephen Fry. I love watching Doctor Who. I follow John Cleese on Twitter. I think there's not much more I can do anymore.
Okay. All right, well,
I love tea. I drink tea every single day.
And he drinks tea every day. So from me, Red Eye the Englishman, and Dario the English German, that's it from IEM in Sao Paulo.